Hello, good morning, and welcome to the newspaper review here on Tab TV. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and yes, this is where we get to discuss trending and catchy headlines every day with people on the street. We are the streets of Port Harcourt, like we've been doing, to get to see the reactions, or people get to hear what they have to say as regards the headlines making rounds on the papers. Well, you can also be a part of this show. Do well to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notification button, connect with us across all our social media platforms, so that when we drop videos like this, you get to receive our notifications. Well, before we discuss with people, let's first look into the newspapers and see what the stories look like. First, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. Today being Wednesday, 13th March 2024, we will see our headline here reads, Rivers PDP cautions Akpabio over altercation with Fubara. Details is found on page 4. Ministers, discos differ over cause of outages in homes, offices. Details is found on page 5. Pension funds hits 19.5 trillion naira. Details is found on page 7. Delta Assembly passes Disability Rights Bill. Details of the story is found on page 6. Shaibu sues INEC, Igodalo. Details is found on page 6. Why I visited Abia Geometrics by APC chieftain. Details is found on page 6. Government abducts 2 at UNTH. Details is found on page 27. Tinubu won pan-Nigerian mandate, says Yatima. Attempt to stop him with ethno-religious faults. Lines failed. This is found on page 5. You can see admin story here reads, Senate suspends Ningi over false budget padding claim. Sub-story under that reads, Bauchi Central Senator asked for 3 months. Appropriation Committee Chair clears air on 3.7 trillion naira. Details of the story is found on page 4. Atiku won't dump PDP, says 8. Details is found on page 3. WTO to stop illegal fishing on Nigerian waters. Details is found on page 7. And that's all be taken on the Nation's newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Punch newspaper. We can see as headline here reads, Tinubu 6 Ramadan prayers. Jigawa slashes working hours. Details is found on page 7 and page 18. Federal government probes 107 varsities over fake degree. Details is found on page 7. Abductions. Reps tackle NSA. IGs deploy squad in Kaduna, Kano. Details is found on page 18. You see how the main story here reads, budget padding controversy. Ranking senators get 17 billion naira constituency votes. Ningi suspended. Details of the story is found on page 2. Army bust illegal gun factory in Delta. Arrest 8. Details is found on page 18. Delta police snap 2 suspected kidnappers, 4 cultists. Details is found on page 4 and 5. 30 years old graduate dies by suicide in Imo. Suicide is actually never an option. APC PDP clash over Fubara. Akpabio's political jibes at Wigire's burial. Details of this story is found on page 14, and that's all be taken on the Punch newspaper. And lastly, for the dailies for today, we'll be looking at the Daily Sun. We see as headline here reads, PDP declares Akpabio enemy of Rivers over comments on Fubara. Details is found on page 27. Senators expose one another. Sub-story under that reads, lawmakers in near fist to court as crisis takes party ethnic dimensions. Details is found on page 6. History will be kind to Tinubu, says Shetima. Details is found on page 26. FCT safe, free for foreigners to conduct business, says Wike. Details is found on page 26. Atiku dismisses report of leaving PDP. Accuses Tinubu allies of being behind report. Details is found on page 28. Criminals plan to attack school, farms in Osun. Adeleke cries out. Details is found on page 27. Please, the government should do something about that. You deploy security personnel on that angle. All right, still on the newspapers, we could see it says, gunmen attack UNTH, abduct deputy director, security man. This is found on page 4. Pension fund hits 19.53 trillion naira, gain 1.17 trillion naira in January. This is found on page 2. Tinubu approves appointment of FCT permanent secretaries, board members, others. Details is found on page 28, and that's all be taken on the Daily Sun newspaper. Now let's get to see the reactions of people on the streets. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards these headlines on the papers. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
And I'd like your thoughts on the Nation's newspaper that says Senate suspends Ningi over false budget padding claim.
Well, it's rather unfortunate. When they say it's false, it means they've already concluded investigations. So I wouldn't say it's an allegation, yes. But then suspending him almost immediately is what I do not understand. I understand very, very suspicious. The Senate has a disciplinary committee, and this committee is supposed to sit and find him, want him before he'll be suspended. And to my understanding, that suspension is null and void. It's illegal. It's not constitutional. And I hope that he approached the courts for the court to interpret the sections of the Constitution and the standing rules of the House with respect to this discipline of members in the House. So that suspension, as it is on the face of it, is highly suspicious. It only goes to show that he has something to say that is incriminating to the House, the leadership of the Senate.
And there might still be more that we don't know about.
Exactly. Even though on my part, I would say he's saying this because maybe he wasn't involved in the whole process, the party process.
He's not seeing any benefit from it.
Yes, he wasn't carried along. That is what it is. But if you ask me, the process of suspending him is very faulty, very, very faulty, and it goes to show how suspicious it is. It is unfortunate that the people that we've kept in charge of lawmaking for our own good, to oversee the runnings of the government, can be this shady. It goes to show how bad the society is. It goes to show how terrible we are as a people. It is very, very unfortunate for this kind of 18 budget padding at this point in time when we're facing economic crisis. Those padding, I can assure you, would not benefit Nigerians. Whatever padding is for their selfish aggrandizement and personal interest. So it's really, really unfortunate. And I would really want beyond words of the mouth, he should approach the courts. I also want to believe that the judiciary...
He's even saying he has evidence.
That is what I'm saying. He should approach the courts. The court should declare that suspension very illegal. It is illegal. At this point, I expect him to fight back. He shouldn't stay and watch them ridicule him. He should fight back. If he has those evidence, he should put it out. He should go through the right video, put it out, let Nigerians see, let us know what is happening. Already, I do not have faith and confidence in the current Senate, but the National Assembly as it stands. I don't want to talk about the executive now. We're talking about the legislature. The National Assembly as it stands, I do not have faith in them. Not to cast aspersion on the person of the Senate president, but he is not somebody with a good reputation. Akpabio is not somebody, Senator Akpabio.
You could even see the recent feud he's having with River State governor.
Exactly. I think he makes one of your headlines too, where the PDP is also warning him to steer clear. He's a very loquacious person. And I must tell you, the way he talks, that's how he behaves. Take it to the bank.
It's not supposed to be so for a Senate president.
It is not supposed to be so. His candor, his courage, it is really, really, really disappointing for the number 3 man of the Federation to be acting in that way. The Senate as it stands, the composition of the Nigerian Senate as today is very shady, very faulty. They are there for their personal interests. They do not represent the common interests of the average Nigerian on the street. No, they don't.
Now, seeing this Ningi and other senators issue playing out now, can we boldly say that some of our problems of this country is coming from some of these political leaders' angle?
That is the fabric of the whole problem we have in the society. Because if we have a legislature that is not accountable and responsible to the welfare of the people, then the executive can be as reckless as they want. Their job basically is to checkmate. They are more like a watchdog. Is to checkmate the excesses of the executive. But where they are conniving with the executive to part budgets, you can imagine what will become of the people.
Even in these trying times,
it is really unfortunate that at this point when we have economic recession, Nigeria is in recession, whether you like it or not. Forget about any English you want to speak right now. Nigeria is in recession, and for we to come out of this economic sabotage, their acts is only going to take us further into a deep mess. We've been lamenting, cut down on the cost of budgets, on the cost of governance,
expenses, everything.
Cut down on the cost of. They are doing all of this so that they can be properly protected. They do not care about the average Nigerian on the streets. They do not care about us. We don't have an accountable, a transparent, and a trustworthy legislature. It is very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. I don't want to talk about the executive, because if we have an effective legislature that would hold the executive to ransom, then we're almost halfway there. But when we have a corrupt legislature, of course, and a dormant and docile executive, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. We have the resources. Nigeria has the resources. We have everything. We are well positioned to make this nation great. But leadership has failed us. Leadership has failed us, and we're seeing it in the Senate today. Leadership has failed us. That's the greatest problem of Nigeria, leadership. And the Senate is not an exception. And it is most worrisome because beyond every other arms of government, they are supposed to make laws that would govern our day-to-day activities, including our economic policies and all of that.
And benefit us.
Yes, but then we are not seeing it happen. It will not happen with somebody like Akpabio as the Senate president, and those hungry-looking senators we have there. They are all after what they stand to gain personally. We've not seen any of them come out to say, cut down on our expenses, our personal expenses. Let us see how we can salvage. It is really unfortunate. I want to bring also this issue because sometimes we heard that during the Xmas, some senators were giving money, about 200 million naira as palliative. And
there was even time they were giving 150 million naira.
It did not get to their constituents. Those palliatives did not get to their constituents. The cost of running the Senate alone, it's so much that if you invest it into a sector like agriculture, for instance, it is going to benefit us a lot. Cost of running governance in this country is terrible, and it goes to show why they are padding the budget. Of course, I would not want to jump and say what he's saying is true, but it's true. If you look at it, it is true. For him to have been suspended without disciplinary actions, remember, the House has a standing rule. You cannot just on the spot suspend a member without hearing from him. It is against the natural law of justice. Fair hearing. You should allow him explain himself. The panel should
critically look into this evidence.
What he has to, of course, they will not want to look at it because it is indicting. It's going to indict all of them. That is why they would not want to look at it. We are trying. We want to shout. We want to make noise. I'm tired. As a Nigerian, I'm tired. I'm tired of lamenting. Well, most of us have been using various mediums to call out our government, but it seems like there is no headway. The more you shout, I want to make reference to what our president said, why he was a candidate of the APC during the presidential election. He said all the things they've been saying on social media, they've been cursing him, abusing him, that he no longer goes there. He no longer goes there. He does because he doesn't want to hear again. So we can run for all we care. They don't want to hear our plight. But this particular one goes to show the rots in the system. The Senate is our major problem. The legislature, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, they are a major problem because if they hold the executive accountable, they hold them accountable. There is no accountability anywhere. There is no accountability anywhere. It is really unfortunate. I would not also want to go to the judiciary, but I hope that one day we will realize ourselves
and sit up.
Now,
looking at the way things are playing out, even till yesterday and till today, do you think there's hope for Nigeria?
Well, I do not think anybody will come from outside to come and better Nigeria. That is we here. And as Nigerians, every Nigerian you see on the streets, all of us, everybody is just waiting to get into power and start stealing. That is what it is, because you feel that once it is your turn, you steal as much as you want to steal to fill your pockets. It is not your turn to make any change. We need reorientation from primary schools, nursery school. Nigerians, we need reorientation. We need to imbibe the spirit of patriotism. We don't have patriotism. Nigerians are not accountable to the nation. We do not see when a public officer, when a Nigerian is elected into office, he does not see that office as an avenue to service. He sees it as an avenue to enrich himself to his 10th generation. The only way there can be hope for Nigeria is when Nigerians come to realize that we have no other nations and we are the only ones to make the nation work. It is only Nigerians that can make Nigeria work. It is only Nigerians. Nigeria is so great, so endowed with natural resources and human resources, but it has not been harnessed. Leadership is our problem. If we can, and one thing, our leaders do not come from outside. They are a product of our society. They come out from this society. So if we have a reorientation and reconscientize the minds of the average Nigerian on the streets, That is the only way we can get it right. When we have come to realize that this is our nation and we owe it a duty to ourselves. What you owe to your generation unborn is not to keep resources for them. It is to keep institutions that are functional, to keep good legacies. If they come and meet a functional institution that job creation is 100%, institutions are functioning, everything is going on smoothly, there will be no need to steal for your 10th generation. If we come into a society that is functional, you know that if you do your bit, if you work hard and give in your best, you're going to be rewarded. Then there will be no need for you to steal. So we need an overhaul of our character, our behavioral pattern, and we need reorientation. The average Nigerian needs to understand that this is your country and you have no other country. You might want to japa, you might want to run out. When you run out, finish. You will come back here. You will come back here. You will come back here, except you say you want your lineage to belong there. And one thing is, you cannot get a proper belonging there, whether you like it or not. You are an African, you must understand that this is your roots. This is your roots. We stay here and then we'll make it better. We stay here and we'll make it better. Only Nigerians can make Nigeria better. That is what I have to say.
All right, thank you very much. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like your thoughts on the Daily Sun newspaper that says senators expose one another as regards that story of Ningi, Senator Ningi saying that 3 trillion naira was not was a padded amount to the total budget of 2024.
Yes, what the man said to me is right. The reason why I say is right that if the senators them want to do the right thing, they're not supposed to give the man suspension. They're supposed to say, okay, let them investigate. Yes.
And he's even saying that he has evidence.
Yes, and the man said he have evidence. And then once something when we say at the end, then turn back, go back the man, say, okay, we don't give the man pardon to come back, so that the thing will cover. And so that if another thing happen, another senator, he will not like to come out to speak out, so that people will know what is going on in the country. Now you say we have senators. The senator they present us for different states, different local government, different places. But our senator, where we vote, when they don't vote them in, at the end they go say, now them vote, now them carry their safe, go there. Say nobody vote them in, like some people where they talk say, I use my money to enter power. Exactly. Is that the way it's supposed to be in the country? Okay, you use your money and enter power. Why can't they do campaign? You're supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use your leg. Go enter it as your primary seat. Exactly. It's not the way it's supposed to be in the country. Look at now, full stop in the market. Poor man cannot buy anything again in the market. Exactly. Who have maybe some women now where they don't have husband, they have many children. Before they eat once a day, it's very hard. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
And even transportation is even high. Even as little as bread.
Now, the smallest bread now, when we say before, smallest bread, you can get bread 15 naira, 100 naira. Now, the most smallest bread now is 300, 400. Maybe you get children or you want to travel, say you won't buy bread. How much for bread now? From 1,007 up. Is that the way it's supposed to be in the country? And the country, there's no job for youth to work. So the country, I don't understand where we are going to. I don't understand this government. Before we cry for Jonathan government, when Jonathan is in power, we buy a bag of rice 6,000 and 7,000, but we still complain. A basin of Gari at that time it was 1,000, we still complain. Buhari enter power, rise up to 20-something to 30-something.
Era was better.
Yes. Like that. Even before Buhari go down, he said we will remember him, but now you remember him because what he said is going to pass. Like food now, poor man cannot afford to eat 2 times, 3 times a day. So many things. If you want travel now, if you don't arrange yourself, you're not going to travel. So different things. I don't know how you going to do. Because now we live by God's grace for the country.
Now seeing the way things are going now, seeing the way the government and even this 3 trillion naira budget issue now, are we to say that federal government or some of these politicians are part of the problem of this country?
Yes.
Why we are like this?
The politician, our senator, is the problem of this country. One, some of our senators then go sign something for them to go and do for their place. Before they carry the thing to go to their state, they will go take God and say this money will come in. See my own percentage. Now they go sign contract for somebody to work road. Before they approve the contract, them don't already remove their own remove. What will remain for them to use and work the road? It will not work again. And the person will work the road any I see. So that thing will remain for him to use and go. And
they were even hearing yesterday that one senator was saying that some senators are awarded 500 million naira to their own constituency. So they have such huge amount of money at times, and we do not see anything.
We don't see anything. There is nothing. Where we vote them in, where we send them, because they are our servants. They are our servants. Senator and even the president is our servants. They're supposed to make things easy for us. They're supposed to provide job for the youth. They're supposed to make, even like now, there is no lights, no water. Since this, no price is high. Look, since when my mama born me, I'm a 40-something years now. I never buy pure water. It reached 15 naira before, and sure, reach 20 naira. But look at this time, a pure water now is 15 naira each one. If you want buy a bag, 400 to 500.
Ordinary water.
Where they bring out for ground. But there's no government official come out to say no for this kind of thing. But if you don't start for one thing, go ahead and start for one thing, others will come down. Maybe they say, okay, pure water, we have to come down. Rice, maybe the open border. Because the rice we have in the country is not enough for the country. They're supposed to open borders so things will come into the country for the masses to use, to be available for us to buy.
So now let's say, for example, if this case is investigated and they find out that truly 3 trillion naira is on excess on this budget, what do you suggest they do?
If they find out, you come to say the thing where the man say is true.
They should first reinstate him back to his
Yes. Then we return him back. Then go return him and they go still pay him for accusing him, for damaging him, to spoil the man, to give him both the suspension, they go pay him everything.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome. I would like your thoughts on Daily Sun that says senators expose one another. This is in regards of that money that they said it was alleged that they added to the budget.
See, ba, you see this country, ba, I swear to Almighty God will create me. Now, senator and reps, they kill this country. Assuming senator and reps, they fear God. That money where they pay them a month, it too plenty. Because senator salary for 1 month, best way they collect 30,000 naira a month, go work for 60 years. You go work for 60 years before you go collect senator 1 month salary. Number one. Number two now then they cause problem where they kill us. Since where Boko Haram hencemen start, you don't see where they don't kidnap senator or senator picking. Since where Boko Haram start, they never kidnap even common councillor, chairman, senator picking or governor picking, they never kidnap them. To tell you, say, now then they kill us. Now their boys, they that bush. Assuming they get sympathies of human being. Look at now. I they give my wife 3,000 naira for daily, for food daily, they throw away for me for grand, me and she they fight. Why? They not go say, okay, since we are the consumer of this country, this Nigeria has only 300 million population, but now only 3 million people they eat the money. Only 3 million people they eat Nigerian money. Those senators, may they reduce their money, ask for teachers when they work for primary school first. Teacher for primary school go work for 60 years before you go collect senator money for 1 month. It's no good. Secondly again, Dangote borrow money from central bank. To pay the money, now Dangote don't add money for cement. Dangote carry cement, go sell am for Niger, 2,000 naira. Dangote carry cement, go sell am for Ghana, 2,000 naira. Why Dangote go sell cement for us 10,000 to 12,000 naira? That land where they dig that cement, and Papa get them, then dash on that land. No be saying buy with him money, number one. Number two, now poor people they work for that cement factory. Now poor people they drive that motor. Why Dangote go say muku buy cement 10,000 naira for this country? Now mama get the country calling him. By the way, Obasanjo carry lasting of 100 years give Dangote. Why then go give Dangote lasting for 100 years? What did Dangote be for this country? Okay, Dangote don't stop you better not to bring anything. Dangote don't stop in fact, nobody go import anything for this country again, apart from Dangote. The refinery where they Lagos. Now Nigerian money do them. You go they borrow money. Now time don't need to pay the money. You add money for cement. Secondly again, they're supposed to give local government their right. Yes, local government supposed to get their power and right. No, they say chairman go there somewhere. When time don't need to pay teachers, you go collect the money, put for your pocket, go and rule business. Before you go come back on the pay teacher, now Papa get the money. Maybe Papa get this money. And to me, I go feel swear say from governor to president, they are all courtesan. Assuming they are not courtesan, why women be not go get sympathies of wetin dey happen. Say Tinubu get man to tell the country say I know you people are suffering but I no get wetin I no know wetin I go do. I no get anything to do to help una. Is he the man of God? But when he dey do campaign, he dey tell people say be man of God. Make dem get man of God o. The country don dey war o. You hear ba? Tell them say senators na dem dey kill this country. Senators and reps na dem be Boko Haram wey dey bush. Assuming no be dem be Boko Haram and herdsmen, why they never kidnap one pikin, one senator pikin? For more than 12, 15 years, wey Boko Haram dey reign, we never hear say dem kidnap senator or dem kidnap him pikin or dem kidnap him wife. Why? Make dem tell us the reason why. That is my question.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, this is where we draw our curtains for today. You heard what I've been discussing. You heard everything that the people on the streets have to say as regards these headlines making rounds on the papers. Please slide to our comment section if you have anything to add to it or you have a counter opinion as regards these things that have been said here. Do well to subscribe to our channel if you are here to subscribe. Turn on your notification button. Connect with us across all our social media platforms. Yes, my name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAP TV. See you next time.